everyone. Today's topic, formation of adjectives. In our previous video on adjectives, we saw what are adjectives. They are describing words and they give us more information about the size, the color, the appearance, the touch, the feel, the number, the quantity and many other things about an adjective. Today we are going to see how we can form adjectives. We can basically form adjectives from nouns, from verbs as well as from adjectives. And why do we need to form these adjectives? Actually adjectives are used to give that extra edge to whatever you speak, to whatever you write. It makes your speech more interesting. It makes your writing more interesting. It adds more effect to it. Like we say, it adds that extra flavor to whatever you are saying or to whatever you are writing. So basically, there are no rules as such for forming these adjectives from either the nouns or the verbs or the adjectives, but usually we add suffixes to them. Now, what are suffixes? There are two words, let us look at them. One is prefix and the other is suffix. Today we are going to basically use lots and lots of suffixes, but just pre means before. Any word that is given and we add 2 or 3 little letters before it, that becomes a prefix. Prefix. For example, you have the word clear. Now, if I add un before it, you get a new word and that's unclear. So this un that I have added, this is called as a prefix. Okay? Similarly, truthful. If I add un before it, it becomes untruthful. Now, what I said we are going to use today, lots of suffixes. Now, suffixes can be used again to nouns to make an adjective before it. So, which are these suffixes? Few of them which we use. You can just see it on your slide. So, in order to form adjectives from nouns, we can add certain suffixes. That means stone is there. I can add y over there after dropping the e and it becomes stony. Now, the road was full of stones. It was a stony road. Now, why did I add this? To make it a little more interesting. I could have just said the road was full of stones, I couldn't walk on it. But maybe when I say the road was full of stones, it was a stony road and I found it very difficult to walk on it. So I'm just adding something, I'm making it more interesting, I'm describing the road so that you get a picture in your mind of a road full of stones and how it was difficult to walk on that road. Similarly, truth, we have added FUL over here to make the adjective truth. He is telling the truth. He is a truthful boy. So what have we added? We have added the suffix FUL. We can also add a prefix. For example, he is not telling the truth. He is untruthful. So I'll add un before the word truth and you get one more adjective. Similarly, the forest is full of danger. It is a dangerous forest. So in this way, by adding some suffixes mostly or prefix sometimes, we can easily form adjectives from nouns. Some examples in front of you of how we have formed adjectives from verbs. The children will enjoy the trip. It will be an enjoyable trip. Or my parrot talks a lot. It is really a talkative parrot. So in this way, we can easily form adjectives from verbs. She loves to talk. She is so talkative. Let's use all the waste and make a useful thing. So from use, the verb that is there, we have changed it into an adjective and made it useful. Similarly, as you keep on reading, you'll get to know more examples of how we can form adjectives from verbs. Adjectives can also be formed from adjectives themselves. For example, we've seen that all colors come in the category of adjectives. So red is an adjective. Another adjective can be reddish, black, blackish, blue, bluish, green, greenish. So all the colors that are there easily form the adjectives. For that matter, even the other adjectives that are there. Suppose the adjective tall. Tall is already an adjective. We can add er to it and make another adjective, taller. We can add es to it, est to it, and we get another adjective as tallest. So this is a very easy way of forming adjectives by adding er and by adding est, and this is what we are going to see when we do comparison of adjectives in our future videos. For example, the example given to you, the first sum is easy. The second sum is easier than the first one. So what have we done? Easy and easier. In this way, fine, finer, finest. This is a fine cloth. This cloth is finer than the one you saw before. This is the finest cloth in the shop. What are we doing? We are just changing the word finer, finer and finest. So these were just simple examples to see that how we can form adjectives from nouns, from verbs and from adjectives themselves to make your speech and your written work more interesting, more descriptive. So how about one little exercise for you today? So let's begin. Answer time, and as you can see, the words were already underlined for you and you only had to make an adjective out of those words to fill in your blanks. Very easy. Gold, golden, wool, woolen. See, we added another L-E-N. So wool has just a single L, but we make it woolen. We have it a double L. Obeys, that was a verb over there, and the adjective became obedient. Danger, dangerous. Wise, wisest. Wise was an adjective, and we made another adjective out of it, wisest. Heavy, heavier, again adjective, changing into another form of adjective. Value, that's again a noun, and we change it into the adjective, valuable. Read, this book, that was a verb, and we change it into an adjective, readable. So this was basically a very simple topic today of how to form adjectives. So we'll wind up, but before winding up, let me remind you again, you'll have some activity to do at home and you can see it in the link in the description box. And those of you who were not able to watch the previous video and joined us for this particular video, do have a look at the previous video to see little more about what are adjectives. So, till we meet again in my next video, goodbye and take care.